Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is KocoSports IPW UK International Super Show Edition 5 review. Very strange show. Now, in case you are wondering, we've kind of been, not just, fucking off WWE. We're also adding other shows. We're covering a lot more professional wrestling here on the channel. We did a New Japan show last week, Lucha Underground every week, TNA every week when it's a new TV show, Ring of Honor for the pay-per-views. We're consistently giving you the Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT 205 Live reviews. And also I'm going to be exploring in 2016, 2017 going forward, a lot more different promotions. Now, I have FlowSlam, which I recommend everyone to check out, flowslam.tv. Not an affiliation of any type. Just I admire and adore the products that they put out there. That's how you can get access to IPW UK International Super Show 5. It costs $17 per month. That's £17 for me. I don't know what's converted to American dollars. It's a great buy. This being said, win-loss or tie is the system we always go by and the format we always stick by, and I'm going to stick to that whether I'm covering WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, or any other promotion around the world. I'm going to give this show a win. Okay, there was lots about this show that I enjoyed. There was also lots of things on this show that I didn't enjoy. Now, just because this is an anti-WWE show won't mean I'm just going to suck everything's cock. If I don't like it, I'm going to bury it. If I like it, I'm going to put it over. But with that being said, let's get down to it. So it's December the 18th, 2016. There was a slight delay. I think it was a 4 or 5 day delay from taping to airing on FlowSlam, but it just depends. Most shows are normally live. We're from Kent in England. Our opening match was Joseph Connors versus Tom Dawkins. The first match here on the show started off with some nice fast-paced wrestling here for the opening 5 minutes. Dawkins, this guy, I've never seen either one of them. I'm not familiar with IPW UK. I'm going to be brutally honest. There's lots of people on this card I know. I knew Zack Gibson, knew Cody Rhodes, knew Will Ospreay, knew Sammy Smooth, I knew Jimmy Havoc. There was obviously Matt Riddle and Zack Sabre. I know a lot of people on this card and Pollyanna. I've watched a lot of these people live. There is a few people in the opening few matches who I haven't really been exposed to, and that's the brilliance of the world of professional wrestling. There's so much. No, there is not anyone who knows every single wrestler. Like Dave Meltzer doesn't know every single one. He might do, but it's just brilliant to just be able to sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself and get the familiar faces, but also add additions to the faces. So Dawkins, this guy, good look, he's got some nice strikes. He's more of a high flyer. Joseph Connors is involved in the WWE United Kingdom series, which I'm very excited for. Tournament, in January of next year. I'm extremely looking forward to that. Very short match. Dawkins got the win with a guillotine buster. So good stuff there. Too short to be anything special. It was good. It was fast-paced. Everything you expect in an opener, these guys did. Give this match 5 to 10 more minutes and a more of a better story. I think it could have been good. But considering Connors will be involved later in the show, I'm glad he at least got something out there. And Dawkins got a win here. So a 1.5 stars, 1.75 stars. Nothing bad there. And then we have a match for the vacant IPW UK Women's Championship, Tennessee Honey versus Pollyanna. Now, I've seen Pollyanna at ICW. In November, I went to a house show in Southampton at the Garage, and I'm going to go again to ICW in the same building in February, late February, because I really enjoyed my experience. I didn't review the show because I was having an alcoholic beverage. That's the exact reason why I didn't. So that being said, this championship was vacant because Mickie James was the IPW UK Women's Champion. However, she did not, because she went to WWE, she had to forfeit the title. Give or take, there was a reason. It was just she's going to WWE, so that's dropping it because everyone under the sun knows Mickie James is going to the WWE. So here we go. So Pollyanna, she comes out, okay? She comes out to a custom Game of Thrones theme song. Now, if you've heard of the Game of Thrones theme song, you'll know it's an absolute magnificent song. And if you haven't heard it, just give yourself the time and day to just type in Game of Thrones theme on your YouTube tab, pause this show, play that, listen to it, unplay that, and you just listen to how amazing that was. Now imagine a harder beat version of that. It's absolutely brilliant. And Pollyanna, this is not an insult, okay? You're expecting me to bash the person now. When I saw her come out, when I saw her at ICW, I think I've seen her twice at ICW. When she came out, I was expecting Powder Puff. I said, oh, look at this. It's a nice, beautiful girl. There's no muscle to her, no offense again. But when she wrestled, the girl can go. And that's probably one of the biggest comments. Considering I thought my expectations were very low, the girl can go, and that's a really, really big compliment to the girl. She applies a camel clutch whilst bending her back on her knees, which is a really nice spot. Tennessee Lee with a superplex that was nice. They exchanged forearms. Pollyanna hits the Pollinator for 2. Not sure about that name for a near fall. Tennessee then hits a Canadian Destroyer or a Sunset Flip Powerbomb, however you refer it as, for a 2. Pollyanna then applies a roll-up to get the win. Your new IPW UK Women's Champion. Handshake and a hug. Crowd were mega hot for this one. I gave it 2 stars and 3/4. I was not expecting anything. Now, I knew that Pollyanna could go, and I've not been, regularly involved with Tennessee Honey. So with that, my expectations were low, and they blew it away. Absolutely great job. Great stuff. 2 3/4 stars there. Post-match, Amazon, and she had a second name, but you guys know I butcher names on a regular basis, so I did not want to bring it up. So I will just call her Amazon, just for this sake and purposes. So she says she is, the rightful #1 contender, and she wants her shot now. And, Pollyanna, she just won the title, went for a 2 3/4 star match. She says she accepts. She hits a tope suicida. Women's title match. Amazon versus Pollyanna, the champion. Amazon is this beast of a human being. Absolute beast. She gets the win quickly with a double-handed chokeslam. Squash, so won't give it a rating. Amazon is your new IPW UK Women's Champion. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm expecting a Pollyanna Amazon feud out of this. I want to see what Tennessee Honey does, and I don't want to give too much away in case you're just watching match and then reviewing the match. Because I remember when I was younger, I used to listen to reviews because obviously when I got home from school, so I'd watch something, listen to the review of that, and then watch it. So I don't want to ruin it, or if you're only halfway through. But Tennessee Honey has involvement in the main event, and it's absolutely brilliant. So we'll move on to our IPW UK All England Championship match. You have Scott Starr, the champion, versus Zack Gibson. Now, there was no #1 contendership match. The reason this match is taking place is because when Scott Starr won this title, he wanted to defend it in every single county against the best there was in that respective county. Now, when he's going through the counties, the county he went on was Liverpool. Liverpool, mates? Do you want some chicken, mates? Sorry, those are just great. I'm not very good at accents, but I can do a Scouse accent pretty well. So Zack Gibson, okay, is probably the best from England. Now, if you're watching the ITV World of Sport, Zack Gibson is featured on that. Gibson has insane heat to the point where he won't even let the ring announcer announce him. He does it himself, and you can't hear a word the guy's saying. And it's great to see a guy going out there getting heat. It's a rarity these days because usually you're like, oh, I'm not going to boo him because I like him. He's a great wrestler. Gibson is a great wrestler, but he's such a cock. And, he supports Liverpool, which in England is kind of like, especially where they are in Kent. And it's just brilliant. And it was good. I really enjoyed this match to a point. Out of everything I saw, this kind of, if you watched it in order, you kind of would have forgotten about this. So Starr goes for a handspring elbow, and Zack midair hits a big pelt of a kick to his arm. Really nice stuff. Starr hits a standing sliced bread. And then listen to this. There's a scaffold above. Okay, so Starr climbs it. He misses a fucking senton off the top. Unbelievable. Absolutely brilliant. Gibson hits a fisherman. As he goes for fisherman, Starr rolls through into an inside cradle. Beautiful transition to get the win. Good heat. It helped the match crowd-wise. I'm going to give it 2 stars. I had expected a lot more from this. Maybe because of the positioning of the match here, and I just didn't like this. Nothing against Zack Gibson, nothing against Scott Starr. They did nothing wrong. I just didn't give a fuck. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe if you watched it as well, you can maybe explain the reason why. Maybe it's because there was not a proper story. It was just a title. I'm not really sure. We'll move on to what you're here for. Cody Rhodes versus Will Ospreay. First time ever you got Bullet Club versus Chaos. Ospreay is the heel. Now, this is fascinating. I've never, ever once witnessed Will Ospreay as a heel. Now, I thought that the guy is a proper white meat babyface, like a proper traditional, he's such a great guy. He looks like a great man. And then I sent a text to my friend who's really big in the UK indies, and I sent a message, I'm watching Will Ospreay heel, and I was like, yeah, he suits a heel because he's a roadman. And I was thinking, you know what? And I scratched my head and I went on Mr. Will Ospreay's Instagram. Now, I'm not a stalker by any means or any stretch of the imagination. So I thought, let me listen to his theory. and I looked at what he wore, and I realized how he talked. There is a possibility that the guy I gave yesterday Wrestler of the Year, Will Ospreay, could potentially be a roadman. A fucking roadman. That upsets me a lot. Unbelievable. But anyway, it was very good. Ospreay is the heel. He just gives no shit. So he comes out. Cody Rhodes is the What Culture Wrestling. He's whatever that champion is. He picks it up and throws it like it means nothing, like it's a piece of shit. Now, I get lots of requests. There's a lot of things I get requests on. You know, lots of requests used to be in early 2016 anyway, was for more Pro Wrestling Guerrilla reviews, which I'm planning on doing more in 2017. But now it's a lot of What Culture Pro Wrestling fans asking for What Culture Pro Wrestling reviews. Now, I don't have access to these shows because on their YouTube channel it's weird, it's in parts, and it's like, just give me the full fucking show. And I don't know if I don't know why I just never appealed to it, because the point of the show is, you know, there's factions and stables, there's something club, and there's so much going on, and I don't know these characters because I don't like What Culture, because I like What Culture, but I don't like certain parts of What Culture, and it's just, I just don't want to talk about it. So if you're after What Culture Pro Wrestling reviews, you'll have to ask Boom Booms for that, and I do apologize. So let's get this one. This was a really good match. So Ospreay goes for a handspring, and he goes for a handspring dive to the outside. So he goes one handspring. Remember, he's a heel. So he goes to the spring. He goes over the top. He then just slowly just jumps down, just hits an elbow. Crowd go batshit crazy. Insane heel heat. Unbelievable. Cody, though, makes the crowd happy with a springboard crossbody to the floor. Ospreay is working Cody Rhodes' left leg. Cody hit a really nice delayed superplex, and he's selling really well. You know, he keeps on grabbing the leg. Even a little punch or a shake of the leg just makes me happy. You guys know I'm a huge mark for in-ring psychology. When psychology is done right, I think it can add an element to the match. When it's done wrong, I think it really takes away from the match, because when you're watching a match, it's like you're trying to suspend your disbelief. You know it's a work, but you don't want to believe it. So if you're in a real combat fight, you would dissect a body part. I like wrestling where, obviously, I like this type of wrestling, high-flying, fast-paced, adrenaline junkies, that type of wrestling, like the next person. But I like it sometimes when they slow it down. Like, that's what I love about New Japan. They're selling in there. Like, people hating Ziggler because he sells too much. You should hate someone for not selling enough. That's how I see it. And I still do not understand the hatred for one Mr. Dolph Ziggler. Anyway, Ospreay goes for a handspring, and Cody in midair applies a crossroads. Unbelievable. So imagine that. Springboard, catch, crossroads. That gets a, this is awesome. This is awesome. First chant of the night. I can't stand that chant. Never have and never will like it. Cody misses a moonsault off the top. Again, no longer selling the leg at this point, but because it was his burst of adrenaline, I kind of let the adrenaline go. Ospreay misses a Rainmaker. Cody hits a disaster kick. Cody, sorry, then. No, scrap that. Will Ospreay then, he hits Okada's Rainmaker, but instead of the clothesline that he follows through, he hit a really nice spinning enziguri. That I want to see more of, because that was fucking brilliant. Ospreay goes for a springboard cutter, but in midair, Cody just counters it into crossroads in one of the beautifulest sequences I've seen this year. Post-match, they go for a handshake. They do the handshake. The crowd go wild. Ospreay kicks him in the cock. Ospreay, great heel. Good match. Recommend you guys to watch it. You got Will Ospreay, my Pro Wrestler of the Year, awarded yesterday on the Triforce Awards versus Sammy Sinister's Pro Wrestler of the Year, Cody Rhodes, for different reasons, and Boo Boom's was AJ Styles. Apologies if you haven't watched the Triforce Awards. The night is dark and full of spoilers. I do apologize about that. But this is a 3.5, 3 3/4 match. I'm really excited, guys. Now, this is a strange one. I'm really excited to watching OTT shows. There's 2 OTT shows coming up today and tomorrow, featuring Will Ospreay versus Ricochet and Ricochet versus Marty Scurll. And I'm pumped for those shows. Now, there'll be reviews of these shows. And while we're halfway through, we'll take a little mini break from actually breaking down the show now. Well, I don't want to be a few minute break anymore. I plan on, in 2017, bringing you guys the very best coverage of professional wrestling from around the world. I want to be that channel where people think, oh, you know, I watched this show the other day. I went live. I wonder if anyone's done a review. They type it in and this channel comes up. I want to review UK indies, American indies. I obviously want to do the mainstream WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Lucha Underground, CML. I want to get it all done. There'll be a schedule set. You will know on each show just what show to show, and you'll know what's coming up next live. And I apologize about the timing of this during NXT and Lucha Underground. I understand there's going to be a lot of post-match, post-live views, and I appreciate that. And if you are watching live, I'm not expecting many of you a thumbs up for you, but just know if you're a fan of independent wrestling, you're a fan of alternatives to the WWE, the big time, it's going to be covered here. But also remember, you're still going to get, again, the best WWE coverage in the world. So here we go. Where are we? We're at Cuban Heat versus Santa, okay? Cuban Heat, this is a $10,000, whatever the fuck they have, open challenge. You know, if they last 10 minutes. It's a bit of Christmas fun. Cuban Heat got the win. Nothing much here. Just a bit of Christmas fun. And it, you know, it was going after Will Ospreay and Cody Rhodes. So you didn't really want to give too much. I gave it a star because it was a laugh, and this was taped before Christmas. Hey, there was a couple of kids in that crowd, and believe me, we'll get to that later on in the show. But there was a couple of kids in the crowd, and it was just nice to see them having the smiles on their faces. They were enjoying it. Good for them. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Matt Riddle. On a show where I didn't look at the match card. I just thought IPW UK is on FlowSlam. Boom, let's play it. Let's see what IPW UK is all about. I've heard about it. One of my friends who I work with, he's training right now at Varsity Pro Wrestling. That's at Varsity Pro on Twitter. He trained for a while at IPW UK, so I've heard about it, and I've heard they have an on-demand, which he tried to get me at, but I said, don't worry about it. So Zack Sabre Jr. and Matt Riddle, I was not expecting this. And when Zack Sabre Jr. came out, I was like, yes. And then when Matt Riddle came out, I was like, oh, dude, that's just brilliant. And Riddle, he's either extremely pumped to be here, mega fucking jet lagged because 24 hours prior they were at PWG, or he was high as fuck. I will leave it up to you because I'm not going to make accusations on this show. I'll leave it up to you on what you think Matt Riddle was. The opening 5 to 10 minutes was just some great, pure pro wrestling grappling, and it was absolutely out of this world. Riddle hits some rolling gut-wrench suplexes. Zack applies a Kimura. Matt gets out with a deadlift fisherman buster, which was absolutely brilliant. Zack Sabre Jr. hit an insane penalty kick plus a running uppercut, sending Riddle out of the ring. Commentator here, I don't know. I didn't note the commentator. Now, I'm not saying the commentator was bad, but I just didn't like how when I watch independent wrestling, I want to take myself out of this, quote, WWE bubble, end quote. Like, it really is a WWE bubble, which everyone from time to time just gets vacuumed into. And I'm trying to go, escaped into my IPW. And this guy is name-dropping WWE here. He's talking about WrestleMania, CWC, alone in this match. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit if Zack Sabre Jr. was in the CWC. Tell me what he's been doing in IPW. Tell me his story leading up to this. Why is this match taking place? Was it an international challenge match? What the fuck was going on? I don't give a fuck if he was in the CWC. Please, do better notes in the commentary booth, please. They exchange some nice strikes. They exchange ankle locks. There's a, this is wrestling. This is wrestling. This is wrestling. Shut up. Fuck off. Just make more noise. Both have a knee bar applied and they exchange some slaps, and it was absolutely brilliant. They get out by kicking the shit out of each other. Great visual. Riddle applies the bro mission. Zack Sabre Jr. taps. Great match. 3.5 stars. Exactly identical to Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay. If you had a gun to my head, Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay, Matt Riddle, Zack Sabre Jr., which was better, it'd be a tough damn call. Up next, here we go. IPW tag titles are on the line. London Riots, which is Rob Lynch and Someone Davis, versus Danny Duggan and Kieran O'Donnelly, versus the Swords of Essex, which is Will Ospreay and Amazon. And remember, Amazon was the one earlier. She's the new IPW UK Women's Champion. Swords of Essex is a team of 4. Sorry, I'm stuttering. What the fuck am I doing? It's a team of 4. Now, it's kind of like the Freebird rules, but they're kind of anti-authority. So Will Ospreay picked Amazon instead of Paul Robinson to be in this match. Amazon in this opening sequence launched O'Donnelly into the chair, and it's not O'Donnelly. For some fucking reason I've put O in all my notes because I'm an imbecile and it was very late when I was watching this. So it's Donnelly into a row of chairs. London Riots hit this beautiful spot where one of them threw him up into a catapult and the other one hit a nice uppercut. O'Donnelly, I keep calling him O'Donnelly. This guy's gonna fucking hate me. Well, he won't watch this, but the poor bastard, I should get his name wrong. He does this really nice move where, do you know Billy Gunn and Dolph Ziggler's Famouser and Honky Tonk Man's Rocker Dropper? He did that, but instead of using his leg, he used his knee, and it was very, very good. I like stuff like that where they take someone's move and make it their own. I'm a big fan of that. D&D hit a brainbuster into super kick. Ospreay just low blows everyone. There's no DQ and a triple threat. Riots hit a catapult, so like that, and he just like catapults back into a spear, which is a beautiful finisher to get the win. Amazon carries Ospreay to the back. There's no visible belts, which damages the celebration a lot more. And then the London Riots announced a TLC match at the next show in January against Danny Duggan and Kieran Donnelly, which I'm extremely excited for, and we'll be watching as it will be on Freakshow. I think it was January the 22nd or something like that. 2.5-star match. Again, lack of Ospreay high flying annoyed me, which is good because he's a heel, and that's brilliant. Riots, good champions. I love their finishing move, the catapult into the spear. It's a great move. Recommend all you to watch it. Decent stuff. Good build to the next show at the TLC in January. And then we go to our main event, an I Quit match for the IPW World Championship. We have Jimmy Havoc, the champion, defending against Sammy Smooth. Now, Sammy Smooth, in case you're unfamiliar with the name, he's kind of a John Travolta. You know, he's a smooth, grease lightning kind of guy. He's got, you know, the slick Rick kind of hair. Havoc comes out. His entrance gear, I was watching this when Raw was on, okay? And I was watching in my room. It was pitch black minus a little light I have where I was taking my notes in this little book here. And he came out, and he's got this mask on, and he's got spikes all in his gear, and he's got this big-ass mask. Scared the living shit out of me. He then, you know, his gear is the trousers and the vest. Deathmatch worker means a deathmatch review for the very first time on this channel from me. And I tell you what, this is going to be a controversial one, because you guys know, ever since I joined this channel back in properly full-time earlier this year, end of last year, August time, end of last year, August, I have always been a barrier of deathmatch wrestling. Now on this channel, you know, if I was fake, I could have said, oh, this was shit. I always live and die by the philosophy, if it's good, put it over. If it's bad, bury it. Now, I could have quite easily said, I don't like death matches, and said, oh, fuck, this was anyone could have done these spots at home. I could have done like I normally do with deathmatch wrestling. But I sat back as a fan, and to give you a fair review on whether you should watch this or not, this match, okay, remember you just heard me talk about Will Ospreay and Cody Rhodes. You just heard me talk about Zack Sabre Jr., Matt Riddle. This match was the match of the night. Unbelievable. Trust me, I'm going to go. I have a page and a half of A4 notes to tell you, and you'll be cringing at me just telling you some of this stuff that went on. So the match starts off, and just that you know, Havoc's been the champion since August 2015. That's an unbelievable title reign. Smooth hits a tope suicida. Havoc in midair hits him with a bacon tray to the head. Smooth then hits a frying pan to the head, unprotected. Guys, what the fuck is going on? Havoc, put your hands up, you silly toilet. Smooth then tries to dive off the bar. Now, it looked like he was pushing up. It looked like he was back first to Havoc, so it's like Havoc is behind me. It looked like he went for a moonsault. However, though, he just fucking fell back and just landed hard on the concrete floor. Concussion City. Smooth then misses a running dropkick off the apron to the floor. He lands in a stack of chairs. Unbelievable. Smooth then tries to... I've already done that. They exchange a staple gun shot. They get staple gun of a staple gun in front of little kids in the front row. Okay? Now, I understand that, you know, you announced that there was an I Quit match with Jimmy Havoc, and the parent, you know, the common sense parent must think, I don't know if I'm going to take my young kid over there. But with that being said, they could have easily, you know, there was only a kid sitting in that section. So that section was fine, that section was fine, and this section was fine. They could have quite easily just, you know, done a few punches, you know, launched him into the ring post and then done it the other side. But they didn't. They did it right in front of the kids. And as an adult and as a mature adult, I don't like that. But again, it's up to the parents. If they looked on the card and saw Jimmy Havoc, maybe they didn't know. Maybe it was just the kids was an early Christmas present. Hey, look, can I come watch some wrestling down the road? And they didn't understand and know. They didn't know who Jimmy Havoc was. The parents, they just thought, okay, let's get the kids to some wrestling. You know, trying to be a good parent. But I just thought it was a bit out of order. Smooth pissing blood on his arm now from these cuts, and I mean absolutely pissing blood. Havoc hits a superplex onto 2 setup chairs. Smooth hits a back body drop over the top rope through a fucking table. So many thumbtacks laid out in the middle of the ring. Havoc hits a pelt kick, and I mean a pelt kick straight to the cock. Havoc then puts tacks one by one in Smooth's head, just pushing them in, and he's screaming louder and louder as each one goes in. Unfreaking real. He then puts tacks in his mouth. He opens it, puts it in, boom, a punch to the mouth, and oh my god, it's fucking cringe. Havoc hits a Death Valley driver into tacks. Unbelievable. Smooth, he's just a bloody fucking mess at this point. Smooth hits a Blue Thunder fucking bomb into tacks and a setup chair. Unbelievable. Smooth then applies a camel clutch, and because this is a death match, he gets a cheese grater and does it with a cheese grater. Joseph Connors comes out to save Havoc. Havoc and Connors, they tie him up. They tie him up. This was brilliant. So Havoc and Connors have an alliance. They tie him up. Havoc goes, "If you don't quit, quite frankly, I will fucking torture you." And I tell you what, that was pretty much quote unquote what I have here. Havoc staple guns his fingers. Unbelievable. Smooth then staple guns Havoc in the cock. Unbelievable. Connors hits a big spine buster, and I mean a huge one, like a Concussion City spine buster. Havoc, he rips the staples out of Smooth's fingers and squeeze lime and lemon juice all in it. Oh my god, I was cringing. God, that must have hurt. And the scream from Smooth was beautiful storytelling, and it probably did hurt as well. Scott Starr and Zack Sabre Jr. come out. They come out to make the save for the baby faces. They're both baby faces. Zack Sabre Jr. though turns and he chokes out Starr to the point where he's unconscious. He joins Havoc in beating up Smooth. Unbelievable. And Starr is Smooth's tag team partner. Havoc has Starr. He says, "If you don't quit, I'll hurt him." Starr screams, "No, like, you're my best friend. I'm not going to do it." Havoc then curb stomps him onto 2 chairs. Unbelievable. Starr, medical help out to the back. Unbelievable. Havoc has Tennessee Lee by her hair and says, "If you don't quit, I'm going to curb stomp her into a chair with fucking thumbtacks on." And this is the girl, and this is Smooth's best friend. She's a girl. You know, a fucking, you know, she may have wrestled earlier, but she was still a little girl. Unbelievable. So Smooth quits. End of match. You know, there's a limit. You know, Starr said, "No, I hands up, don't quit for me." But a girl is different. That's playing with the emotions. So Smooth, as a babyface, would not sacrifice a woman to get that. And you're thinking, okay, good. How's it going to end? So Havoc turns Lee up, pulls her up by the hair. They then hug. Havoc and Lee hug. Tennessee Lee, turns out, was with Havoc all along, and this was the plan. Unbelievable storytelling, left with Smooth lying in the ring covered in blood and upset. Unfucking believable. What great storytelling. I hate deathmatch wrestling more than anything, but I love the story. I love the emotion. I love the swerves, the cringing, the, oh, I can't watch, oh, that's gross. That feeling of, oh, unbelievable. The swerve of Tennessee Lee swerving at the end. The swerve of Zack Sabre Jr. in England in his home county turning. Unbelievable. Best death match I've ever seen. 4.25 stars. Being legit serious, I recommend you to go out of your way and watch this. Even if you love deathmatch wrestling, there's no way you couldn't give this a 4.5 stars. Just the storytelling, the passion, and, you know, this is Smooth's last, you know, potentially last chance at the title. Havoc's long reigning title, and the stuff where, you know, Havoc's torturing him bit by bit, but Smooth won't quit because he wants the belt. And then in the end, it was his friendship to Tennessee Honey, sorry. But it wasn't worth it, because in the end of the day, it was a setup, it was a trap, and Honey was with Havoc all along. And you know what that did? That made me want to see next show, to see the fallout on what Zack Sabre Jr. is going to do now, what these Tennessee, these fucking 1998 Jeff Jarrett manager, for crying out loud, Tennessee Honey is going to do, what Sammy Smooth going to do, and who's the next challenger for Jimmy Havoc. And then you got a TLC match as well. Great show. Win from me. Unbelievable. Now, I know we're going at a strange time, so I'm going to see if we are going live. Apologies, that was a really nasty cough. Ewok from Endor puts, I'm watching the Trifords whilst after this. LOL, how does one watch this pay-per-view? Ewok from Endor, it's been a long time since you've been on the live comments, and welcome. And secondly, you can watch this on flowslam.tv, which is a monthly subscription service for about £17. You get Evolve Live, you get WXW, IPW, Beyond Wrestling, House of Hardcore, so many live promotions. So I recommend you, Ewok, to get it if you can. Dave Koco in the comments says, happy holidays, LK and Ewok. Happy holidays, Dave. Let's hope for a great 2017. Hope you can come back with us. Hope you get yourself healthy. Well, you obviously are healthy. I've seen some of your Facebook pictures. You're looking extremely healthy. Looks like you're dieting. Maybe you're going for a last WWE run, Dave. Potentially, with the way you're looking. Thanks, Dave. That's good to see. And then Chauncey Bullock says, who La Luchadora? A commenter the other day on Post Live said, potentially Eva Marie. Me and Booms thinks it's Eva Mendes. Rosa Mendes. I don't know why I call it Eva. Probably Eva Marie. Rosa Mendes because of the tan and because she looks like such a gutter slut. So that being said, thank you for watching this IPW UK International Super Show 5 review. I want to thank the live commenters. I want to thank Dave for allowing me to come on here and podcast my ass off. I appreciate that. Looking forward to actually having a meeting with Jerry about potentially sorting my shit out with KocoSports. Excited for that. We'll be going live with a 205 live review in about 20 minutes with me and Boom Booms. And then after that, I'm excited for tomorrow where we're going to have a Lucha Underground review with Vinny Massaro from a Lucha Underground, the Toilet Man, which is very significant considering I've made a name for myself for calling people toilets. So it all makes sense. So last week we did a Lucha Underground review with Chris Dejoseph, the co-executive producer. This week, one of the wrestlers. It's all moving forward. It's all great and it's all good in KocoSports land. And as an Internet Infantry member, thank you for watching this show. 2017 is going to be the year of KocoSports. You fucking watch. We're going to take over the world, baby. So that being said, make sure you stay safe, leave a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, buy Dave Koco's Operation Freakshow book. I've bought it. I've got it on Kindle. I'm halfway through the book now. If you're into deathmatch wrestling, you're going to fucking love that because the book is at the first chapter. You'll be in tears, I guarantee. And if you don't like the book, I'll fucking give you the money for it. And that's a promise because it's a fucking magnificent book. That being said, make sure you stay safe. Stay well, because it's a fucked up world out there. Thank you for joining me for this alternative review to AW show. Thanks for supporting us there. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop us a comment, and we'll catch your asses down the line.